We're going to finish up a plat from this point. All the improvements have already been located. On this case, it's just a road and drawn, but that's all that's been done. I've done all the calculations that I would normally do before I handed it off, so that's where we're at. This is at a 40 scale. You can see it's down right here, and that's also 40 scale. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the overhang stuff. So we're going to offset the boundary lines, but we're only going to do them half of whatever the scale is. So this is a 40, so we're going to offset 20. We're going to go this way and this way. We're going to F for fillet. Make sure your radius is set at 0. This and this. This and this. This and this. And that was a polyline, so now I have to explode this, so we're going to explode it so this is still here. Erase that. That too is a polyline. We fixed it. All right. So I'm going to run a line kind of perpendicular to the road here, line kind of perpendicular to the road here. TR for trim. Select the two cutting edges, then select what you want cut off. So everything's been cut down. Now, apparently, and if you look over here, this is a line, and this line, oh, that's an arc. All right, so this property is likely a 50-foot right-of-way. We're going to assume that for a second. We're going to offset, O for offset, distance of 25. That seems to hit about the center of the road. Hits about the center of the road, there, and here. Now we're going to do fillet again. To get the center line, we're going to click on this, and it's going to be a pain in my ass. Of course it is. So we're going to grab this end and drag it to this one. And then we're going to drag this end to this one. We're going to select each one, all three, or all the polylines that are the lines that are the center of the road now. And change that over here to, let me scroll up, the center line. We do have to check one thing. We're in the process of making corrections, so we're going to go to LA for layer. I want to look at the center line. It is center 2, which means this is the old layer that we've been using. So that means that this polyline, or these lines, need to be at a 0.5 scale. Okay. So far, so good. Now, this is a plat that's going to be recorded. It's in Sevier County. It is an existing parcel of land. So what we're going to do is we're going to explode our block here. Zoom in here. This is not greater than 5 acres. We can erase that. These go in. It's not a subdivision, so that goes away. Now, we can move, M for move. Select all the bits that we're moving really quick and see if we've got an easy fit. We don't. So let's do this. Let's move this one to here for now and try it again. Probably can fit it without any problem. Let's go here and let's freeze the point layer. We're actually done with it anyway. So we go to points, hit the snowflake. It's now frozen. Now let's move this over. We can easily see where everything lies at this point. You want to wait to move this until you already have it trimmed down so you know what will fit where. Now that we have that in place, we can start looking at all the other elements. One of the first things we're going to do is we're going to hit up here, which is field to finish. Let's do that. Let it choose its correct layer thing. Hit OK. And it fills in all our corners. What this also does, see, we have an existing iron pin, calculated point, and one existing metal fence post. That means that we can get rid of all of those. And that's probably enough anyway. So we double click on this, going from tree to existing pipe, hit the delete button, delete one more time, moves all that up, move all of this from here, click. If you hit F8, it'll keep it ortho, and you can come up and align this up it's easiest to line the text itself up. That moved that up off the bottom and got us a little more space down there. If we look at the coordinates, these are high-level coordinates. I know personally I did not set this on GIS, so we're going to double-click on this, highlight that, backspace to get rid of those. It's not necessary anymore. We don't have any fences, so we can get rid of this line just to make a little more space. And the only reason why I cared is because I'm trying to get this here a little more centered and a little out of the way. By the way, I just noticed that I'm still in the ortho mode, so I hit F8 again to turn it off. RE is regen, Control S. You can never save too often. We have what we need down here. All right, so now we got to start filling out the rest of this stuff. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to label all the dimensions. But before I can do that, I need to know where this property is in the world. So if we pull up Cognitoforms and we look at Cognitoforms, we can see we're doing Sunrise Estates 5. We'll scroll down over here, triple click on GIS link, right click, go to Max Map. That'll get us this. What we're looking for, first off, is where is the closest road? This might be closer, but Pullen is definitely a much more prevalent road. So let's go ahead and do that part while we're here. Under this map, on GIS, if you'll go to Measure, click on this little rectangle here that says, or square that says Location. Zoom in down here. I usually turn on the imagery because I don't care where these lines are. I want to see where the actual pavement is. So this is pavement, runs to here, probably runs more like here. Click. That gives us a northing and easting. So we're going to double click on this. Control C for copy. Go to our drawing, which is this one. We're going to do L for line. Click down here. Control V. Comma, come back to our, it's here somewhere, there, triple click or double click on that one, Control C, that's the east northing now, go back to our map here, click here, Control V, enter, we now are drawing a line to that end. That is the closest end to our point. While we're here, let's change this line. So select it, come up here, change it to setbacks. Sorry, I'm double checking to make sure I'm actually on the Z layer and the Z's turned off. Okay. While we're here, let's do this. I'm sorry, I like to do things all in a bunch. Click on the bearing distance connection, click on that. It's saying northeast. We want to reverse it because it's the direction from our corner to the intersection. Click on this little red and white thing with an arrow. Click on the text that has the bearings on it. It will flip the text over. Move this from like here. Pan up over to here. We're going to put it on this side of the road because it's getting a little crowded. Copy this from here in between. Come back over here because I don't remember. Wrong one. We're looking for Pullen Road. So we're going to do 2 Pullen Road. Now, there's a lot of ways we can do this. I personally find that typing BR for break, click about where I want the line to end, come down here to where I can get snapped to the far end, click, it makes that whole chunk go away. RE for regen. This is sitting above that, so we're going to click on this, go to this one right here, which is draw order, send to back. This one is draw or bring to front. We want to bring this to the front. We want that up in the front. All right. We need to hit the arrow button. It should be twice what is down here, unless it's some little point whatever, and that's annoying, and we'll deal with that. Just ask about it. But in this case, 3.2, so we want 6.4 for the area, the arrow size. Click on the end, near the end of the side that you want to put the arrow, and voila, that part's done. So we have our tie to our corner. Now, next thing, let's label our lines. The reason why I want to know where our point of beginning was is because we're going to start there and work around clockwise selecting our stuff. If there's no tables, it doesn't matter. But because there will at least be a curve table, it does matter. So we click on this one, which is auto annotate. When it pops up, we need to make sure that the starting table number is 1, both on the lines and on the arcs. Those are the only things you have to change there. Hit OK. And we'll just select our way around the list or the property in a clockwise manner. Once you've got them all selected, hit space. If you'll notice, it's asking for where I want the curve table. I just throw it off to the side for now. And we're done. Had it asked for a line table, we would have done the same thing. Now, we have to move this. So I'm going to move this out of the way because I know that this is long. We're going to put this here and this here. Mainly because we don't have a whole lot of choices in the matter. We have one option. Let me do this. Let's move this out of the way. Let's move all of this, not this. By the way, if you accidentally select something, if you hold the Shift key down and click again, it will deselect that particular item. So we want to move this. I'm going to hit F8 because I want it to go straight down about that far. Hit F8 again to turn it off. That's ortho. Move this up here because I just want to be different and difficult. I feel like that's a little bit close. You can literally grab this corner and narrow it down some. Just to make it get a little further away. But this can also go up. So let's move all this up. Just a little bit. All right. Now we can move this back over to here. Kind of keeps everything compact and leaves our drawing area nice, free, and clear. All right. Zoom extent, Control S. Make sure you save, always save lots and lots and lots of times. We also need to, because we had to change the layer here, we're going to do MA for match properties. We're going to click on this center line and then click on that center line. As you saw the change, it went from a single dash to a double dash because it now has its smaller factor. All right. We have pretty much most of the drawing drawn. Now it's more filling in the gaps. We've already put the north arrow or the direction of there. We've got our calls. This is on state plane, so we want to put our coordinates on our drawing. So you come up to the XYZ button, click on it. You shouldn't have to do this, but I did because I was doing it the other day. So we make sure that this is not checked here. Everything else stays the same. Hit OK. Pick point or point numbers. What do we want to label from? We're going to click on this one because that's what we're labeling. It's asking for our angle. We want it to be east, so we're going to hit space, and then it's going to ask us to put it somewhere. I do like to move that off of the corner, so it's pointing at the corner, not on the corner. So that's all of those. Let's get the area on this lot. We are doing, by the way, lot 5. So let's get the area on the lot by clicking area by interior point. Click here. Make sure that the lines, all these lines highlighting, actually are going where you want them to. If they're not, we may have to do something different. They said this is lot 5. It's asking for the lot number, so 5, and we're going to drop it here. All right, so we have our location. We have our adjoiner, or that. We don't have our adjoiners yet. We'll get that in a minute. Let's do this, mainly because I don't want to try to do 2 screens at once. And this. It won't let me get rid of that. It will, however. All right. The only reason why I did this here, I'd like to work on 2 screens. We need our adjoiners. See, I've got the adjoiner line here, so we have one here and one here. Let's hit identify. This is lot 4. That's lot 6. Thankfully, that's all we have to put because it's in the same subdivision. So we're going to come over here and type T for text. Click our location point. Let the height default to what it is. Rotation angle, if we're going to go like this, we change it. But in this case, we want it to be east. If it's not east, hit 0, enter. And then we're going to type what we want. In this case, it's going to be lot 4 and lot 6. That was right? That's lot 6. That's lot 4. All right. We're going to move lot 6 over here. This lands in the middle, so we tend to put this in the middle. This lands in the middle, so we'll put it here. I do want to note that this is not running clockwise, it's running counterclockwise. So that's where we need to pull. What we need to do is we need to use that red thing that we used earlier. Click on it, click on the text. So we're going to go northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. Then we got to check 1 and 2. They both should be west. So let's look at them. They're neither one of them. So southwest, northwest. So now we're going clockwise. I always got to check that, because just because the software, you clicked on it that way and the software said it's supposed to go that way, it doesn't always do so. All right. We need to dimension to the center of the road. Find a clean spot that's not bothered by anything. Click on this little button right here, which is offset dimensions. It wants to go to an end. I like to just choose like NEA for near to, pick a spot, and then click on this. There's that. Escape will get you out of that command. When in doubt, hit escape. Just know that sometimes when you hit escape, things disappear because escape got you out of the command, didn't finish the command. All right. Let's go back to our drawing really quick so we can get other bits of information. Specifically, Sunrise Drive. So that's what we're on, is Sunrise Drive. It wants to be a pain. Give me a second. There we go. So normally I would have put the text right here, but it's getting a little crowded. So let's just put text, T for text, click here. And I like to follow the pavement instead of the property line necessarily. This was Sunrise Drive. All right, road text and lakes and some of the method minor ones, but road text gets double. It gets 1.5 times the size. So 3.2 times 1.5 is 4.8. And it gets changed from standard to bold. Okay, so we have our call, we have our joiners, we have this, we have our joiner, sorry, I know I'm rattling. We haven't hatched yet. This should be pavement outline, which it is. So let's isolate. This is isolate layers. Click on this isolate layers. Click on the pavement outline. Now that's the only thing that's left. SPL. Actually, undo that. Let me restore this because I want you to see what I'm doing. I'm going to do a spline, that little wavy spline. So we do SPL for spline. And what I'm doing is going like in the middle of this lane, in the middle of this lane, back to this. So in the middle of this lane, in the middle of this lane, back to this. So we're just getting kind of a wiggle. Now let's isolate layers. Actually, let's match properties because I just drew that on the wrong layer. Match properties to this and this and this. Now we can click isolate layers, space. H for hatch. Select objects. Should be 4, space. Just let it do whatever it's going to do. We're going to change it. Select your objects. Click this one here, which is set draw order send to back. We want everything want the pavement in the back of the drawing. Restore your layers. Regen. Now, MA again for match properties. That's pavement. So we're going to click on pavement. Come up here, click on the pavement box, regenerate. And we got to check something because I think this layer's off. So we're going to type LA. If you notice, the pavement layer and the outline layer is that pavement needs to be at 253. So if you're working on what came from an older template, we got to change that layer. 253. Okay. So literally click on the color. It gives you the option to do whatever you want to it. Okay. Once it's done, you just X that out. Now if you notice that that's 2 different colors. That matters because 254 is too light to show up when it's copied. Control S again because I needed to. We're going to come up here and turn off the pavement outline layer. We don't need it on anymore. So we have that gone. All right, so you have all those joiners filled in. You have your joiners, you have your tie, you have your coordinates, road name, tie across, pavement, all the improvements, all your labeling. Everything in this section is done. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to pick up on a different level for filling out the title block.